Hello, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Live from the beautiful Tom and Dan Studios in the heart of Baldwin Park, Florida. Welcome to the show. EJ is burning CDs, he says. I don't know. That is a dumb old man thing to do. Burning CDs. What are you saving? What are you backing up some files or something? Photo CDs? Are you You know what I did? You know what I did a long ass time ago, and I wouldn't have a lot of this music if it wasn't for Whopper Jr. There's some punk band CDs that you can't find online, or they're hard to find on streaming services. And I remember Whopper Jr. gave me his CD booklet from his truck. And one afternoon I burned like 75 CDs and I have some weird punk rock because of that. We have a special guest coming on very, very soon, guys. We got our buddy Mike from Mike's Weather Page should be here soon. So we're going to talk hurricane season. But let me give some of y'all that were here first some love. Excuse me. SJ, Shred Bear, Captain Pizza Pants, EJ, of course, EMH82, Fashino, Shred Bear, Happy Hour Deuce. What up, Happy Hour Deuce? Are you still doing your show? You said it right there. I did a $200 order from you guys from the fine folks at Happy Hour with Ariel and Deuce. Hope you enjoy. Well, thank you so much. I'll gladly go to your website and buy one of your shirts then. How about that, Deuce? Email me and link me.
Happy Hour and Deuce?
Happy Hour with Ariel and Deuce. They're a podcast. I think it used to be Happy Hour with somebody else and Deuce.
All right.
I'm going to surprise Deuce with my memory of him. And then I think his partner either moved away or isn't there doing it any longer. But if I remember correctly, Happy Hour and Deuce have been deucing for a very long time.
All right.
Yeah. I want to say like 10 years, maybe longer.
10 years?
Let's see what he says. Yeah, he's been doing it a long time.
And is it just a podcast?
It's a podcast, yeah. I think that he may have left. Ah, shit. Well, anyway, reach out, Deuce. Never liked that name. So, no offense. No offense.
Deuce?
Never liked it. Reminds me of poop. Taking a deuce.
Yeah.
The song, Little Deuce Coop, don't like it.
Still use taking a deuce.
Yeah, wound up like a, what's that song? Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a deuce, another loner in the night. That song?
Yeah.
I'm not wrapped up like a deuce. I know. Well, you know what? I am the only person on the show that's ever wrapped his deuce in paper so he could hold it and look at it. I'll tell you that.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking to see if I have anal cancer, Tom.
You can see it?
I can't. I can't see a lot of things. You should see the things I see.
That's a tampon, right? Wrapped up like a deuce? That's
No. That is not what that means. Were you being serious when you said that? That's absolutely not what that means.
I thought we talked about that in the radio one day.
No, I think people thought it was that, but I don't know. I absolutely would disagree. It's a good thing Mike. Mike came at the right time. Thank you, Mike. Let's see if we got him here. All right, loading. Zoom is always loading. Well, hey, there he is.
What's going on, Mike?
How are you, man?
Good. You guys hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yep.
You sound great. And you look even better. Hold on, let me check one camera angle here. I want to make sure we got you on the big screen here. There we go. Let's go this way. Perfect. And then go back this way. Yep, you look great, man. You been good?
Really good.
Awesome.
Going nuts. How
Yeah. Well, a little bit of that too. A little bit of that too. You know how it is. I mean, and it's hot. Tom and I have both. Tom was smart yesterday. He wore shorts and sandals, and it was a Monday, and I wore pants and some sort of new like grandpa hiking shoes that I bought because they were on sale. They're like grandpa hiking shoes. This is the warm up. And I when I got home, I was so sweaty, like my entire bottom half of my body was sweaty. So nope, shorts it is. All right, Mr. Van, would you like to begin?
Sure.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and we'd love it if you'd head over there and check it out. Just search for Tom and Dan Live on Twitch or at Tom and Dan Live on YouTube.
The Orlando Science Center has a brand new exhibit that has just started this past weekend. It's about superheroes. If you're looking to get in the AC and escape the heat.
Let me tell you something. It's DC in the AC.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Science Night Live is May 31st. That's the, where they open it up just for adults.
Yep.
They have cocktails and
a little snack. Get yourself a horty orb. As my dad couldn't say the word hors d'oeuvre. He called them horty orbs. Get yourself a horty orb and a nice beverage. And, and learn something with your lovely wife, date, or whomever.
Yep. It's all about DC Comics and superheroes for Science Night Live.
Batman, Superman, you know.
So if you're an adult into superheroes and you want to walk around the Science Center with some drinks, that's May 31st.
Can I tell you something serious? And we'll get to our guest. I'm dead serious when I say this. I think adults are more into superheroes than kids. I think kids are like, this is boring.
Yeah. My kids are into Roblox.
Yeah, because Roblox
digital
is
casino. And now I'm with them.
And speaking of digital casino, if you were to pull the Weatherman Casino handle and our favorite weather person were to fall out of a slot machine, ladies and gentlemen, it would be our good friend Mike from Mike's Weather Page. What's going on, man?
I like that slot machine.
Yeah, well, our kids are addicted.
Like weather.
Do you have any?
You don't know what you're going to get when you pull that handle, right?
Are your kids addicted to the Roblox? Are they all stuck in the internet like our kids?
Mine's addicted to Snapchat and TikTok.
Okay.
No,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
there.
yeah. Me
That's
too.
it. Yeah.
Although Snapchat, I thought that was 10 years ago, Mike.
No, Snapchat's huge. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, it's still big.
Oh,
Still
okay.
big.
I love my TikTok. I will admit, I'm a TikTok junkie. If I had to pick between Netflix and TikTok, 99% of the time I'm going to bed watching TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah,
Look
yeah,
at you,
yeah,
man.
me too. Me and Mike are.
Yeah.
I just sit
I
there
watch
and
PBS. I watch a lot of Antiques Roadshow.
it gives you what you want, Mike. That's the best part. Whatever you want to see, it gives you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, it's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
Oh, I love that. Write that down.
Exciting. Like,
Where'd you hear
every
that?
flick of the thumb, I'm like, what's next? What's next?
I know. That's what Tom says.
It's endless. And
I
it's
feel
always
like,
good.
You know what? I love Mike so much, but I feel like you might be my Mike from Mike's weather page. You're very Mike adjacent. I think you are. I see some true friendship here.
Yeah, I know. I got a business idea for you later on, Mike.
Please
but
don't bring that up to Mike.
Yeah.
He told
It's
me.
good.
Okay, we'll get to it. He told me some dumb idea off the air that he wants to ask you about, and I said, "Do not do that."
Well, Daniel does no business.
Yeah, I don't, and we're so close to. Well, let's get into the business. We are hurricane season. It's a coming, right?
Oh yeah, can't hide. It's here. I can feel the vibe. People get pissed when I'm talking about it, but you know what? We have to talk about it.
Yeah. Why do they get mad about it? It's a part of living in when you live in Florida and you enjoy living in Florida, being aware of storms and being, I guess, like normalized to a point where you take them seriously. But don't freak out, right? Like, isn't that where we're supposed to be? Somewhere in the middle?
Mike, I know why. It's because people are superstitious and they're like, oh, don't talk about hurricanes. Oh, knock on wood. They believe knocking on wood.
You can still do that.
They have powers of some sort.
You can still do that for peace of mind and also believe in science. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I know reality, and then I just knock on the wood anyway.
Well, the one thing that got me going last year more than anything is, first you try not to read comments, but I do. We all do. But I started getting this vibe of people saying, that's what you get for living in Florida. That's what you get. That's what you get. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, what about the flooding in the Carolinas? What about the damn tornadoes that are just rocking everybody right now? And out west, they got fires and blizzards and mudslides and earthquakes and tsunamis. I mean, Florida, we have hurricanes, but they're coming. Every other disaster, you don't have much time. So I think it's a good thing we live here.
They hate us because they ain't us. That's what I say, and then I point to my butthole.
Did you? I was about to say, did you say anus?
I did say anus, and you can say it. They hate it. You could use that on and next time you're doing the brew, and these people come in there and start trolling. You say you hate us because you ain't us.
So, Mike,
and then point to your butthole.
Before we talk about hurricanes, let's talk about there is some cold weather coming at the end of May. I saw, I follow Mike on Instagram.
And
on
everybody
Facebook.
should, yeah.
And so, because it's been hot lately, right?
Yeah. Well, a little bit of that sarcasm. So instead of 96, it's going to be 92.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold north of the state line. You can go everybody else is going to enjoy 40s and 50s.
Yep.
And but Florida, maybe the Panhandle, maybe in the 60s, like Friday. I don't know, but yeah, May typically is hot. I mean, it's our dry season. It's hot. It is kind of normal, but we're breaking records. So, it's hot, but we're breaking records. So it's hotter than normal.
Yeah.
So, Mike, help me understand, like, going into this hurricane season where we hear it every year, it's projected to be a busy season and it seems to me like the global weather patterns are basically the same as they were last year with tiny variances and what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that's going to change extremely that would cause mass catastrophe. You know what I'm saying?
Mass catastrophe is that's what we call it.
I'm just saying, I think people are like, oh, what's coming this year?
Right.
And it's pretty close to last year, right?
Totally. I mean, first thing I look at is this thing called La Niña, El Nino. It's a pattern that really is the Bermuda High in a sense, and where that's going to set up. We were almost in the exact same pattern as last year. Water temps are maybe a little bit cooler, but really they're not. If you look at the last week, they're skyrocketing. I think too much hype is put into the water temps. It doesn't take much to create a bad storm. So, yeah, the biggest thing for me is that steering mechanism that we saw last year, more of a west push. Years that we have this neutral La Niña, we have less fish storms and we have more push west because we have a stronger Bermuda High. Basically, it comes down to that. Waters are hot. So, everything's lining up. I tell people, everybody wants to know how many names we're going to get. That's what some people judge a busy season, like how many names we're going to get. But, like 23, I remind folks, 23 was the fourth largest season ever. We had 20 named storms in 23. And unless you went through Idalia, it was a dead season. And that's what everybody told me. Oh, what a bust, what a bust, what a bust. But we had 20 named storms. Last year, we had less.
Yeah.
The preseason predictions were like, oh, my God, we're going to run out of names. We're going to have 30 named storms. We only had 18. But comparing 24 to 23 was way worse.
Oh, right? The anxiety of 2023 storm-wise, because there were so many named, I would put I think I'm a professional anxiety person. I think I can take that credit. And 2023, one would get named, and you'd be like, "Oh God, do we have all our stuff? We're going to lose power." You know what I mean? Like, but last year was different. Now, what I was reading a little bit before you came on about the likelihood of us getting a named storm before May 15th has always been sort of this like marker that some people use. Do you ever use that, or because like I know last year we didn't have one, this year we haven't had one? Like, what is your sort of take on that, Mike?
Yeah, I think we've had more systems in May than we've had not. Like, right. It's rare that we don't have a system in May. But it really doesn't signify a busy season or not, except it does get the media going. And It seems like the years that we have a May storm, it's like, oh, my God, it's like breaking news and gets everybody amped up. And then we had this lull in June and July, and everybody thinks it's a dead season. Then all of a sudden, boom, August, September rolls around. Ian – 22, we had a 60-day break from July and August, and everybody was like, oh, the season's dead, it's over, and then bam. So, we have these highs and lows in hurricane season. There's lulls sometimes. We do all these expos early season, but then when it comes down to it, when we need to worry, it's like people forget. It's like learning Spanish for me in, school. Unless you use it, you lose it. And I think our peak season, Florida especially, is late season, September, October. And I always say we're in hurricane hangover by then. Everybody's done talking about it, and that's really when things amp up.
So, Mike, I want to talk to you about you personally, because I see, I follow you on social media, and I see that randomly you'll be in, like, conventions in the Midwest and, like, all around.
Yeah, it's cool.
Doing weather conventions. Like, tell us about what's a typical weather convention like.
Well, the last one I was in Kansas City, and it was funny because everybody's like, what the hell, Kansas City and hurricanes, but it was actually a lineman convention. That was where they picked. So linemen are a big part of weather, and they come in from all around the country whenever there's a natural disaster. But what I do a lot of times, I got a really long hurricane presentation. Basically, it's talking about, storm impacts, a little bit of hurricane trivia and tidbits, comparing last year's storms, talk about inland effects. Just kind of an overall, speech on hurricanes, and maybe open up some eyes to different topics some folks might maybe not thought about. So we do a lot of these little expos around a lot of my cities over here, and I'm pretty wiped out. I think I've done 10 or 12, and I feel like I'm on the downhill now, and I can just sit in my little chair now for the season.
Is there a lot of partying at those conventions? Like, do the weathermen go nuts? Are they like at the pool and they're like, it's tiki party crazy? And then you got guys out there, like famous guys, like cantors out there doing a backflip into the pool. Like, you got all these different like weather people getting hammered and doing
the
shots.
Weather girls are
Show me your high pressure system, baby. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, well, what happens, after hours. But
exactly. Hey,
some of these conventions are pretty high up there with these companies that sponsor open bar after.
Yeah.
I was just at the Governor's Hurricane Conference down in West Palm Beach, and Tiger Dam. Those flood barriers that you probably saw.
Yeah.
That they put up. Yeah, he's a big sponsor, and he had an open food and bar at Ruth Crisp.
Oh my God.
For everybody.
Yeah.
So I mean. And he hires these models.
Oh, you got money. When you're saving people from desperation, you got money.
You got that damn money.
Barriers. Have you seen those barriers?
What I'm saying, the after hours is pretty good.
Yeah.
When somebody else is buying, it's even better.
That's awesome. Yeah. You know what you should do to freak people out? Just and I'll send it to you. Just wear a red, like a French red beret, And when you walk in, it'll look fancy, and don't say a word to anybody. Just see if they pick up on it. Just see if they pick up on it.
Well, yeah, it's crazy. These functions and
But you're like a celebrity now. You're like a celebrity now, right? When you go to these places.
Know about that. I mean,
you are though. These other guys are talking heads. They don't know what they're doing. You're a personality. People care about you.
So, Mike, okay, to continue talking about you personally, I want to ask you about just being a social media influencer. Because since we first started talking to you 5 years ago, I don't know when it was, but I remember when you had 1.3 million followers, and now you have 1 million more, right?
So that's kind of why I mentioned the beret.
Yeah. So in 5 years, you've grown, or whatever. I'm sure you know better, but you've grown by 1 million followers. Your channel continues to grow, and with now you have 2.3 million followers on Facebook.
It'd be awesome if you got his followers wrong, like Pierce Morgan did to Kanye, and he walked off our show. Mike, you should walk off our show if he gets it wrong, just like Kanye West. Yeah, you're off.
Oh, sorry.
And then tell Tom he doesn't respect you, and then spit in the camera and walk off.
Oh man, it's great. I mean, I think the most rewarding part of the last couple of years has been the younger crowd.
Nice.
Instagram, TikTok especially. That's my second highest right now. I'm got like 700,000 on TikTok, and the kids, the college kids, the enthusiasm from the younger generation that I never really experienced with Facebook before, because that's a little older crowd. Sure. We admit it. So that's really been a huge positive for me, is seeing the younger generation, kids, in love with weather, and that they follow. And it reminds me, they cling to every word, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I got to remember everybody's listening here, not just adults that go to ABC.
Yes.
No, okay, that's what.
But they count the most. You drunks out there, you guys, shout out to you guys.
So Mike, that's what I want to talk to you about, because from our interactions throughout the years, Mike is about a normal Florida dad as you can get. You know what I'm saying?
He's a good Florida, weather-loving, RC car racing dad that we care about.
Is even
he likes some NASCAR.
Just regular person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I say regular. I'm just saying, like, because a lot of people
boat in the water, Joe.
Yeah, a lot of people on social media, like, they may have some media background or want to be an entertainer and things like that. And you're not like that, Mike. And I'm curious, with so many followers, and like you said, now with TikTok, that's a whole different animal as far as social media goes. How do you navigate? Because I noticed, like, even some of the posts, you got nicknamed Mike the Hype, and you were making kind of fun of it. But I'm sure you get attacked all the time. Just with such a huge following, you have
comes a swath of negativity.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's really weird. Like, you would think there'd be a lot of negative interactions, but I can't even count maybe one or two. I can't even think of one time that somebody in person was negative.
Right.
Like,
that doesn't happen.
Most folks that follow are like our type. They follow the softball, the dogs. The other day, Julie was somewhere with Sarah, and they recognized Sarah. I wasn't even there. They're like, "Hey, you're Mike's."
Oh,
so
that's
even
cool.
Family,
that's great.
Yeah. So it's been amazing. I will say, it doesn't bother me ever. I love it. People are very respectful. It's scary to me, very scary, how people can just recognize me, like, instantly, like, out of state, without a shirt, without any, gear on, just like, Mike. So
what are you doing out of state without your shirt on? I mean, just out of curiosity, why are you naked out of the state? You're a married dad. We just blew you off talking about you're the greatest dad, and you're telling stories. I was naked out of state.
No, without his weather page shirt.
I'm messing around.
Well, the only social media I'm not on is OnlyFans, so I've been working on that.
Hey, you can get on there and just do.
You'll make some money, Mike.
Yeah, you don't need to do anything spicy. Amanda Bynes is on there now, and she's just like, hey, I'm over at the mall.
Well, that's regular social media.
Yeah, well, you
got to do a little spicy.
No, they don't do any spicy.
Like, Mike could wear some extra short shorts, sandals.
You
one
could
day.
wear some short shorts, or maybe just hang the belly out a little bit. That's what I do.
Well, when in the 70s, I can dress for the 70s and have my 70s gear.
Yeah, like a big afro wig or something. That'd be fun.
So,
but yeah, it's been it hasn't been as hard as you would think, honestly. I really enjoy, every social platform is a little different. I have found, each one needs a little bit something, maybe a little different, what they like versus other, So I try to mix it up and just, think about that when I'm on X versus Instagram.
Yeah,
versus,
Tom's huge on Rumble. Tom is massive on
well,
Rumble.
I'm trying to get it popular.
Yeah. He's been, and he's got some weird thing where he's got some lady that vomits in a blender and on camera. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Rumble's a weird.
Out there.
Rumble is a spot.
So
I think the hardest thing for me is posting on all. Like I got a routine of 5 things I post on, and hard. I couldn't imagine. There's Blue Sky, there's Rumble, there's whatever, there's Threads. Whatever happened to Threads?
Yeah, I'm still on Threads. I connect my Threads to my Truth Social, though. It's just easier that way. It's just easier.
So, so Mike, this is where my business plan comes in, and
that's why I was making a lot of bad jokes.
Yeah.
Take the heat off.
And because in speaking, this kind of goes along with Mike the Hype, is somehow. People online, and you're totally right, by the way, it's all online because it's easy to make a comment, and there's people that are like, like they like trolling specifically as their hobby.
It's become a hobby. It's crazy.
But so somehow, like, people can politicize weather, which is weird.
Okay.
Like if you just say the truth of like, here's the broadcast at a computer, and then people are like, and they attack you because you're. But see, and you're like, I'm just reporting how I interpret the facts, and this is the science behind it. But because everybody politicizes everything, you need. Me and Daniel would like to pitch to you. And I just drug Daniel along with this.
Yeah, he always just drags me along for his ideas.
Under the Mike's Weather Page umbrella, so you don't have to be involved with this.
It's Spaghetti Models Premium.
Yeah. But we have a political weather. I'll take the right, Daniel will take the left.
Well, wait a minute. I look more right.
And then all we do is broadcast the weather that you want to hear.
But you look liberal. No, we got to switch. I look
okay,
like
listen, it's all about the money to me. I don't care.
Switch every week.
Yeah, no. You're right. But Daniel could take the right and then just broadcast about how the polar ice caps are more ice than ever before.
No. I want liberal. It's easier to talk about. No. I take that away.
Well, you have to go all scary then.
Yeah, all scary.
Hot. I'll go. So everything's more ice than ever. Anyway, I'm telling you,
Mike. Lie. Yours sounds like a lie. The liberal side's way easier. I'm just like, go outside. All right, you know what's happening.
The number one comment anymore, and I stay out of it, are vapor trails. Weather manipulation. I just stay out of it. I'm like, woof.
You have
that's way beyond my pay grade, But there's a lot of folks out there to believe it.
You have to.
I respect everybody's thoughts and opinions. I'm like, I'm not one to tell you you're wrong.
Well, that's a hobby now too. Like making everything political is all. It might as well be the adjacent to trolling. It's a hobby as well.
Mike, that's fine. You could respect it. I personally do not respect it because how can a tiny bit of chemtrail affect? You understand? People don't understand how big the globe is, and like a weather system. They're like, oh yeah, couple planes farting out some gas can affect that entire.
Let me ask you a question.
I mean,
what if
you understand the scope of it?
What if it makes you feel better to think that your life is failing because some plane farts? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you understand how big the sky is.
Yeah, but think about it. There's relief in plane farts, you know? Like, you believe in that, you're like, well, this is why I'm not a success. Like planes are farting me up.
It's also deep. You go high, the atmosphere is deep. Anyway.
Yeah. As long as they don't mess with my Starlink signal, that's all I care about.
Yeah. How is your Starlink treating you? Still good?
Oh, it's great. Hey, it's good. There's no IP blocking like for certain websites.
Oh, nice. So you could get porn. Because, we can't get that anymore.
Well, I didn't say that. I'm just
I know you didn't say that. I said
I figured one of you would pick up on that like right away.
Yeah, this guy.
Hold on. I'm writing this down.
Tom wrote Starlink down.
Starlink? Yeah. I only got 2 sites now, Mike. I've seen all the videos. He's
got 2 sites. They both start with X.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what's on this. Oh, God. Anyway, so Mike, last question. Do you think we're going to see, obviously you have no idea, but are we going to see the similar weather pattern we've seen in the past couple of years where storms have been coming up on the West Coast through the Gulf and affecting the West Coast of Florida?
I just see this whole high pressure pattern that we saw last year, and the Gulf is very warm. Those are things we need to worry about, is this rapid intensification we've seen since pretty much 16 with Matthew. It seems like every year we've seen a storm get close to us. Now, whether, they go up to the Panhandle or they go to Louisiana, but that pattern's there. Milton came across from Mexico last year and crossed into the Gulf. So
crossed into what did it cross into?
The Gulf.
The Gulf.
Period.
The Gulf of what?
Man, this is a test.
I'm the neutral guy.
I'm sorry.
Well, my weather, you know what it is.
You know what Tom's gonna say.
Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, and you know what I'm gonna say. My whole broadcast is gonna be in Spanish. My whole broadcast is in Espanol.
So there's another one. So man, if you're looking for likes or clicks, all you got to do is bring that up, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's terrible, man. You can't even talk about the weather. You're like, hold on.
Yesterday I brought up the water temps, and that turned I'm like, guy, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you.
And the water temperatures are just science. It's just a thermometer. There's no
God.
They're arguing, that it's shallow there, and why am I posting shallow water? I'm like, well, it's still the Gulf. I mean, it's still water.
Okay.
Mike,
moving on.
I never thought about that, but for 100%, I'm sure you have. But I'm thinking, if I was Mike, I'm like, all right, there's going to be a time where I'm going to post a hurricane track, and then in the background, in the hurricane track, they have Gulf of whatever,
Gulf of whatever they choose.
Google's America, but
yeah.
it's I think a lot of the hurricane system will say Gulf of Mexico, old school.
Yeah.
But anyway,
well, they say old school, but we know liberal.
But just having that in the background of the hurricane site map would cause
that's why he says Gulf, which is brilliant. Yeah,
so
why not?
Do you just Photoshop that out? Because I would. I would be like, I don't want the argument.
Yeah.
Totally. No, there's some old maps that haven't updated yet, and I'm like, oh.
I know.
I don't even, it bothers some
It's a distraction.
So much. I don't even want to,
you don't even want to put it on there.
Yeah.
I don't blame
you. I don't blame you at all. You're like, well, I
they're all mad. Stupid Gulf of America.
One thing socials taught me, and probably you all too, is you really got to think what you say. I mean, to the point of everything you say can be twisted 180 the other direction. You didn't even mean for it, and that's the messaging, I guess, that I've evolved, is trying to stay away from adjectives, try to, no agenda, just kind of present things in my own little way, and without trying to steer you one direction or the other, and then using my experiences along the way. One thing Storm Chasing's taught me was showing what surge is like, inland effects. So when I say, you bring an axe into your attic, now the National Hurricane Center has that on their official surge maps, put an axe in your attic. So, those are real life unfortunate.
I thought that was just something you yelled at someone you hate. I'll put an axe in your attic.
That's in your attic afterwards. You might need them because looting happens the day after. So you can use your axe in more ways than one.
I've never thought about that. I'm going up today and putting an axe in my attic.
Yeah, I would bet that 50% of the people would not be able to axe their way out of the inside of their attic.
No,
just
2 weeks.
Just because,
2 weeks.
You
use the axe to cut your own throat when you're in the attic.
Okay, yeah. But just put a gun up there, one bullet.
Like a shotgun.
I'm just going to drill a hole in mine and have it ready to go for the season and put it back in November.
Yeah, me too. I'm just going to set my house on fire and get up there naked and yell for a helicopter or something.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for, coming on our show.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man.
We're getting crazier every time. We're testing the limits.
I think we've learned in Florida, you guys talking hurricanes a few years ago probably didn't make sense because you think of hurricanes as a coastal event. But we've seen more inland effects in the last few years with tornadoes and flooding and, different scenarios like that. So everybody is, needs to pay attention to Hurricane Center, or hurricane season, just not the ones living on the coast,
For sure. No, 100%. Sure. Well, Mike, and again, Mike's weather page, spaghettymodels.com.
Yep, go there, subscribe, check it out. It's your one-stop shop for all things hurricane-related in Central Florida and beyond.
And we'll check in with you again soon, Mike.
Yeah, anytime. And OnlyFans.
Yeah, and OnlyFans, exactly. We'll get it going.
See you,
buddy. Take care. That is Mike from Mike's Weather Page.
You know, it's funny when you have that many followers, like it's just, and you're doing a topic like weather.
Yeah.
Then talk about a spectrum of an audience that's
Millions
following you.
of
Like
people,
everybody relies or is curious about what the weather is going to be like.
He's getting tens of thousands actively interacting with him daily when he does the Daily Brew. So he'll be doing the Daily Brew. I mean, the comments, like we get a ton of comments on ours. We don't even have a ton of people watching us. They're just very active, right?
Yeah.
But on his, it's wild.
No, I know. Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah. That's a whole, different level of humanity, that you have to deal with. And it is interesting that, Mike is just a normal dude, and he has to navigate this weird social media influencer world and the internet.
Well, I think everybody thinks he's gonna in some way create a Mike's Weather Page, like a corporate, I think everybody that has known him for, let's say, 10 years. Effectively has always thought he's going to jump to this new
this
thing
corporate level,
and it's just no.
He doesn't want to do that.
He's just sturdy as a rock, or steady as a rock. The guy is he just likes doing it for himself.
Yeah, and
which is cool,
and that's interesting. It's funny too because
which also makes me think it's more of an accurate.
Yeah, it's more legitimate
because he's not doing it for any reason.
Other
than he just likes it.
And it's funny because in the entertainment world, right? It's always been where if you're an entertainer, then you're striving to entertain the most amount of people and turn it into the most success possible, right?
Sure.
So back in the day, the stereotypical entertainer are like, all right, I want to be the best entertainer. That means A-list movie star, right? And then once you're an A-list movie star, you're in giant movies around the world, and that was the pinnacle, right? So we're all used to that trajectory of people trying to, if you're a comic, you want to get to Eddie Murphy status. You know what I'm saying? You want to get to the highest level of entertainment.
Yeah.
But social media now, it's like Mike likes, this is his passion, the weather and stuff.
He's got a good lane,
and he likes building his audience, I'm sure. But he's not in it to become the biggest social media. He's not Mr. Beasting it. You know what I'm saying?
No. That sounds very sexual, by the way. I was Mr. Beasting it last night.
Well, Mr. Beast was in it to become the biggest social media influencer in the world and biggest YouTuber, and and he's driven by success. And Mike he's driven by continuing to report the weather and
good forecasts. I think when he
then
says, guys,
storm
this
chase, he
is
likes
what
the storm
I think,
chase,
and then it happens, he's kind of there's a vindication there, and he's okay, I used my knowledge and my science, and I connected the dots, and my hunch was right. And he gets a lot of them right. I don't think he hypes at all. I don't even know why he would have that. That's just trolls, because there's no way he hypes. If anybody hypes, and you were kind of touching on it when you were talking about actors trying to be the pinnacle, right?
Yeah.
What's funny is a lot of weather people, lower level weather people, and they could still be meteorologists. Some of those people are actors, which they're good looking people, and they knew that being on the news would be a path of being on TV or maybe wiggle their way through. We've known people. Eric Weber, I think, was one of those guys that wanted to be an actor, but he ended up being a great newscaster or a weather person. And so, but then you're not going to get the true forecast because that person didn't want to be a weather person. He is a weather person.
Yeah.
He's just, and he's good at it, I guess, but
he's good at presenting the weather.
It's not his passion. Mike's really into it.
Yeah. And then of course Mike's built a channel. He's got advertisers and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's
shout out to Furman. It's the generators, right? Isn't that his guys?
Yeah, he's got but it's not about turning it into a corporation, which you would think you're like, oh, you're turn this into a huge empire and it'll get bigger and have a ton of employees and offshore. It's no. He doesn't want to do that.
It is interesting.
And that's what you would think that everybody would want to do, but it's not that's not the case. And in the social media world. And you could even, I don't know, you couldn't even put him in the entertainer category really, because it's he's not necessarily in it to entertain.
No, he's his origin is not of that. Now he may be entertaining. That's different. I watch a lot of stuff that's entertaining, but I don't necessarily think the origin of it was to entertain. Because I'm weird.
Yeah. But I feel like even for us, you get into radio, your whole like
We're
purposes
entertainers.
are entertaining.
Yeah, we present it
yeah.
more like crazy or like I'm even making jokes in our weather segment because I realize that
that's our purpose.
I think that is right.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I look at what I'm supposed to do on the show, and I think, well, man, you better make some jokes today because people need to laugh a little bit. So give it a go, Danny.
Yeah, no, I don't think we can offer anything.
No, I was waiting for you to suggest something, and I noticed that you were not.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know what else I have to offer.
I can go on Mike's weather page and just steal his weather.
Yeah,
I'll
we can
present
start
it to you.
stealing weather.
Yeah, but you know what's funny too is like, for him, he's like, and I see on when he makes a post about like, hey, this. Because they have these, the ability to look at the water temperatures. Like there's buoys that are floating that do digital, real-time water temperatures.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then that's on a website on like spaghetti models, right? Sure. And then when
there's so much on that website, guys. If you've never been, it's a crazy. It'll overwhelm you.
And then he'll present like, oh, this buoy's, it says it's 92.8 degrees here in Key West, right? And then he's reporting that, like, here's an interesting thing. And then people will be like, oh, why you're hyping it up. You're scaring people with the water temperature. That's how they're mad at him for presenting that.
Not his buoy.
Yeah. No. But then it's like, well, what does he present when there's no, it's like he's looking, that's his job. And that's what he's doing.
I guess at some point, the people that do politicize the weather would probably say, well, just don't talk about it.
Only
Aren't they
talk
doing
about
a little bit of that?
Yeah,
like, don't talk about it.
Now, if he would have presented like my
because
Facebook,
when you present that, you're not saying that it's 92 and this is a great thing for the Gulf of America or Mexico.
Don't say nothing.
You know what I mean? Like the Gulf.
Yeah.
You're saying you're not like there. Even if you just said it's 92 degrees with no inflection whatsoever, everyone knows by hearing that that's not a good thing for our oceans to be at. We know that's uncharacteristically high.
Yeah. Is it like, hey, but then there's like, well, why? Okay, well, everyone knows it's high. Don't talk about it.
Like I know I have a mole on my face. Why are you right? Like, why are you telling me? I know I have a big nose.
But then
I know I'm fat.
And then if you're like, hey, Antarctica has grew 1 billion pounds of ice. Have you seen that story?
No,
I don't even know it's true.
That's great. We're growing ice now. Awesome.
And then
We're
I'm
saved. We're
why
saved.
is Facebook presenting this to me? It must know. but then I'm
that's weird.
So then, so if you're like, okay, if you presented that, like, hey, look at this fact, people would be like, oh, no, that doesn't mean, people get angry.
Right, yeah.
And then it's like, and then honestly, it's just like, what does it mean? What does it even mean?
Yeah, I'm just telling you what I read.
They're like, don't even tell me. Because then that makes me mad in one way or the other. And it's like, God damn.
So at some point, with both sides, it just becomes a don't talk about it. Then you can't, but if you politicize everything, then you can't talk about nothing.
Yeah. But they like it.
They do like it. It's an addiction. Yeah.
Because then it spikes they're like, oh, mad, happy. Mad.
The chemicals in my brain are so dysfunctional that I need to argue to get spikes of joy.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah. Scared, mad. It's all something, right?
Yeah.
Just do THC.
A lot of people are like, fight, masturbate, drink. It's all right. You want the peaks.
Yeah.
Give me the peaks. Fight. Masturbate, scream.
Yeah. You want your brain chemicals.
Yeah. But you want them all the highest high.
Yeah.
Extreme anger, depression.
Up, down.
I want extreme up, down. That's what I want. I want extreme up, down.
It does look like a more fun way to live.
I think it wears you out.
Keel.
I'm kind of doing a very, very internal version of it, and it's just not. There's no way to live.
Yeah. Well, you live fast.
You live fast, you die hard.
Yeah.
I have the body of a 71-year-old man.
I know.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. In saying that, will you push me across the street in my wheelchair? I am hungry. You want to do a couple voicemails before we get out of here?
Yeah.
I need voicemails, and I love, you guys have been leaving some of the best voicemail messages that I think I've gotten in like 20 years of doing this. So let's go with a couple of these. Two ways to do it. 1-844-TOMNDAN. That's our little vanity number. You can call. You can leave us a voicemail message that way. Or you can get our Mediocre app. Mediocre Messages is a little button on there you can press. You can talk into your phone. You can send us photos. You can send us videos. Here we go.
Hey, I just wanted to applaud Dan on his recent transition. You've seen the light. You made the choice to become a stander. We, the standers, we accept you. We appreciate your ability to use critical thinking and make this awesome life choice. As a representative of the Southern Nevada Standers, I just want to let you know we're so proud of you, and I can't wait to see what this journey leads you down. So proud.
Well, thank you very much. I am a stander now because I have completely reconfigured the biology in my body. Like, my bones are so, everything's all different now. So I have to stand to wipe because the sitting position is just not, I can do it, but it just doesn't feel as good. And I kind of I became accustomed to standing like a soldier, like you do.
No, it's not like a soldier.
I stand straight like a tomb of the unknown soldier.
It's like
and then you do a good cheek squish, and then you gently bend a little, and then you get to clean it.
No. Now, I'm not as accepting as this gentleman. So if you want to come into my
chapter.
You're
gonna make me wear a probate jacket and ride on the back of your motorcycle like some bitch? I'm not riding on the back of your motorcycle like some probate standing bitch.
No, I'm
not doing that.
No, you gotta do some.
What do I gotta give you, HJ?
Yeah, no, like some frat boy initiations.
Okay. I will hold a grape between my bee cheeks, and I'll run down the beach, and if I drop it, I'll eat it.
Yeah. And then you gotta do the move where you tie a cinder block. You stand the old school. You stand on the.
I don't know about this one.
Yeah. You tie a rope to a cinder block, and the other end, do you know what?
Your ding dong?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this one. You could hurt yourself.
No, well then you throw it off the second story, and you have to stand there. But the whole
it's
joke.
Not tied.
No. The rope is longer. It'll hit the ground with still slack on it.
Oh, I've seen those. Then it gets hung on something, and the next thing you know, the guys in the emergency room.
It goes through the manhole and the clump kid. Anyway, it would not pull him. It would just rip his genitals off.
Yeah. We know a guy that, and I want to dox him so bad, but you've been telling me not to do that anymore. No more first names on the show.
I'm fine with it now.
Okay. Whopper Jr., Justin Clark of Cigar City Brewery. He's the COO. Let's do one more. Let's go with this one right here.
So I've been watching this Diddy trial, and I'm thinking about the idea of, like, you live the first 40 years of your life totally balling out, money, women, you're on TV dancing on yachts, and and then they get you and you got to live the rest of your life in jail. But you also have money, so that jail time is probably not going to be all that terrible. So is there a ratio that you guys would expect, that you would accept, like, maybe 50 years free and 10 in jail? Or for me, I think I'd take 40-20, and I would enjoy that 40 balling out, dancing with my shiny pants on. What about you guys?
I think it's an excellent question. The more I read of the trial, the less I can read of the trial, if that makes sense. How much jail time would you do at the end of your life to just have unlimited Diddy money, or would you just not do it?
I'd want to do it early. And then jail first.
You can't do
enjoy
jail
life after.
That's not the bit.
No, because the problem is.
No, the bit is impending doom.
The problem, okay,
you have to choose.
We've talked about this before. If me and you have something to do at like 7 p.m. on a Saturday, right?
I can't do it. I can't enjoy my Saturday.
Your whole day is ruined, because you're just.
When we have events like on a Saturday afternoon, like when we do our BDM events, the whole Saturday, the girls will be like, "Hey, you want to go to the strawberry patch?" And I can't. I'm like, I can't. I have to stay here.
I just look at the clock.
I have to just look at the clock until I go. Yeah.
But it's
a sickness.
Knowing you have to do something later on, always it's worse. Or like you get it over with, then you have the gig in the morning and the rest of your day off. So it's like you want to do, if you had a 10-year jail sentence for unlimited money, you want to do that jail sentence right now and then get out unlimited money, not unlimited money and then the last 10 years jail, because the whole time you're like, oh, God.
But he's asking this question. You're going to have to do impending doom.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do it.
So you would what, off yourself or?
No, well, if you would take the deal.
Oh, so you would just choose not to do it. I'll just be normal Joe.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because
Now, what if you had to? What if you had to do it?
No, they don't do it.
Yeah.
But do I have a choice of
how
what?
many years would you go? Would you go for a long? I would say go for a long time. At least then you'd get to spend time with your boys. And by the time you're going to jail, you're done. You know, your hands off. Hopefully they have families. You see what I'm saying? Like Diddy's kids are older.
Yeah,
he got to spend some time with them. Probably didn't. I don't know what kind of father he is, but he doesn't look like.
I don't think he'll get life in prison either. There's murderers that don't get life. You know, so probably Diddy's not that old. He'll probably get out of jail before he'll do life. But I don't even know. I'm not even following it. But
no, I'm not either. Every once in a while, I'll read a little bit about it, but I haven't. Not much.
But I did see the Dave Chappelle. I forgot what special it was, or if it was the opening to some sort of award ceremony. But he was in a suit. But he was talking about Diddy's trial, and he was making sure he's like, this guy is in a lot of trouble.
I did see that. I saw that.
It's a remarkable amount of trouble, and it's true. It's like we're
not even scratching the surface on this.
And just from it totally. Even if he doesn't get, I don't even whatever the end. If it goes,
it almost seems like it's going to be going on never ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even if it goes as good as it could for Diddy, right? His entire career is ruined. No one wants to ever do business or and his everything is done.
It's the end.
Yeah. And I'm sure with so much money, people think that these people don't have offshore money and they're like, now he's gonna be broke.
Family has money for them, or
this guy has been unloading stuff, and I know they try to freeze asset in the government, the FBI gets involved, but for even way before when his lawyers are like, they're coming to get you, before it even hit the media, you started dumping money
How come we're not getting any photos of him like we did with Cosby? We're getting those weird drawings where they draw him like Black Snake Moan, and then he's doing the heart emojis with his hands. And I'm I want some photos of him, man, so I can make fun of him.
I don't know what even state is it in? Is it in California or
I don't even know.
Yeah, because
I'm not following it.
They all have different media rules. Every state has a different thing, where media is allowed in the courtroom or not. So I have no idea, but it must be something like that, because for sure.
Oh, the judge said no cameras. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, because I was like, this would be a super highly televised court case.
Oh my God!
Yeah, if this was there's
a
reason.
I was kind of wondering if we're gonna get to. Is it on? It's not televised.
No,
at all, so.
No,
the judge. And we're not even getting little pieces of it, not even little snippets.
On social media, they will report on what day to day. There's social media reporters day to day talking about it.
It's in NYC chat room saying.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting.
They must. I'm sure the judge this would be an insane media circus.
Just lock this thing down. Yeah, it's a smart thing to do. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow. Right?
Well, no, this is Tuesday.
Oh. I'll do it again. We will be right back. Okay.
Let's see. Oh, shit.
You, sir? What's wrong?
No, I left my watch. How does that happen? Tonight, Tuesday 1 and 2.
Tuesday 1 and 2. All right. What are we doing next? Oh, I remember that, Ghost. I remember Cheney Mason. Janie Mason. What's up, Clarkson? How you doing, buddy? Thanks again for the email yesterday, man. That was cool. And it did make me feel a little better because, like, honestly, as a person that, like, has produced a show for longer or for more than half of my adult life, like, I can only imagine that, like, I always put myself in a role of, like, somebody producing something on that boat. And then I would literally, like, they're like, we've lost power. And then the first thing I would do would be like, oh, okay. Well, then, hey, everyone on the masts, we've lost power. Everyone down.
Yeah.
There has to be a reason. As Dan, the producer, right? Because I mean, I don't know. I look at it like a very simple.
There's a bridge that we're taller than. We get down just in case.
Just get that. It's very easy.
Yeah. Even if we get back power, just get down.
Yeah.
But maybe it takes a long ass time for all of them to get down.
Well, then you need to change the process because that's really dangerous, man. Like being on this like water. Like I don't think you can fuck around on the water. I just don't think you can. Things can go wrong so quickly, and after.
Well, the fucked up thing is if those two people or that one person.
Oh, what are we doing here? Are we calling?
Well,
we're too early, aren't we?
We have a weird job. I was gonna do Tuesday 4, but the problem is we need like 20, and I guess we could do we could do 19 and then immediately call the weird job.
Whatever you want to do, man. I'm game for anything.
Yeah, let's just do a 19-minute voicemail.
Okay, I got some emails too.
Well, let me write down the.
Oh, I got that edible story.
Okay, yeah.
I want to do that. I'll do the edible story, and then if that gas is out, tell me, and we'll.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah, I gotta get something to drink too. It's always getting out of the chair the first time. When will this femur stop? When will it stop? Just straight up forever. It'll feel like that forever. Okay. Would you like to start?
Yeah.
Here we go. Get this and 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So, Daniel, what was this story?
Okay, so it's Fringe Week, and we had in a Fringe performer that is doing a show called The Ceremony, which is about like microdosing mushrooms and then doing a hero's dose of mushrooms and how and there are it's no way there's no way to say this other than like drugs are a huge part of our culture whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Whether it's medical marijuana and your recommendation that you can get here in Florida, I have mine, you have yours. We've dabbled with edibles, with toot pens. I'm more of a toot pen guy. You're more of an edible guy, you know. But you and I have for years have made the jokes about like me. I talk about riding the dragon or riding the lightning when I get 100 milligrams and freaking out, or you know. You have texted me before in the middle of the night on 50 milligrams, and you're like, "What the hell is happening?"
Yeah, when you ingest THC, it does have a psychedelic element to it. It can, and it depends on your body chemistry and how sensitive you are to it. So. But for certain people, including myself, I am sensitive to edibles where 10 milligrams will still get me
where you
good.
Need to be.
Yeah. And I never had to like, I got to keep on increasing it or whatever.
Well, and it's weird because, you know, it makes sense that this would be a thing, but I don't think typically, especially marijuana users, I don't think about this. There are people that claim now, and I'm not using claim to say that they're liars, but there are people now, there are whole Reddit groups of people that have had one interaction with one edible 10 milligrams or higher.
Yep.
And now their life is completely altered. They used to be a normal person that did normal things. They took 10 milligram or higher edible, and they are now a full-blown anxiety needing medication, needing Lexapro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, needing
I thought you were going to say it affected them like an ayahuasca or another drug.
There are people now saying that, and here, I'll give you some instances. There's an article, I believe it was Verge that did this, but there's one that they talk about in the particular article. His name is Alan. He took 10 milligram edible, which he had used before with no issue. Had what he felt like full body emergency, tongue and throat swelling, racing heart, couldn't swallow, ended up in the ER. The doctor said it was just a basic panic attack. Months later, he's still experiencing vertigo, dizziness, palpitations, tinnitus, throat tightness. He says, I'm really scared this is my new normal and nothing is happening to change it. Lexi, 27 years old, took 10 milligram gummy while watching a movie with her husband, hallucinated the room was moving and enlarging. Her heart rate spiked to 180. She's now experiences derealization. Her surroundings all feel fake, and she feels like she lives in a fake world.
Weird.
She says, quote, it has completely altered my life. I wish I could go back and never consume this edible ever again.
And she has lasting effects. That's weird because, obviously THC has been around for a long time, and you never really heard about any stories like this before.
And the more I read into the story, basically what they're saying is that, and look, there's no way of knowing because these are just people on a message board sharing what's happening. But what the doctors and the scientists that wrote the article basically are saying is that it is so popular and it is such a part of our culture that people are sometimes dabbling with things that aren't necessarily controlled. You've been beating this drum for years with the illegal or the out-of-state or the recreational gummies. What is 10 milligrams? Can anyone tell me what a standard 10 is? And why is it never a standard 10?
But you know why this doesn't, there's just so much THC use and so much, there's so much money behind, and this, it kind of makes me skeptical of where these stories come from and this really does happen where if they will try to do marketing campaigns, pushing stories. If you have enough money, they do it with politics, they do it with pharmaceutical companies,
right?
Giant insurance agencies will push stories. It happened with that McDonald's lady that burned herself the hot coffee or whatever.
Yeah,
that was a whole marketing push by insurance agencies to basically take people's rights away from being able to sue big companies or putting a cap on it,
Right.
And they're like, look at this, crazy lady suing because the coffee's too hot. And then it's and then people are like, oh yeah, these frivolous lawsuits. So we're gonna, we're gonna sue to cap to take, the giant companies don't have to be as responsible.
By the way, I'm such a pervert that you say hot coffee, and I think of the cheat code for sex in Grand Theft Auto. It was hot coffee.
So if pharmaceutical companies are seeing profits go lower because people are using THC instead of their expensive medicines, then I could see them putting
Release
out
the bots.
Yeah, and then putting out stories like, oh, this person forever was changed and have forever anxiety now because they took a 10 milligram gummy, and then people are like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to get back on my Lexapro.
It's also not to put more fuel on what you're saying. I'm on Lexapro.
What's the other one? The
Prozac, Lexapro.
Prozac.
There's so many. Citalopram.
Now, it doesn't mean this didn't happen. It just, with all the marijuana use, this seems like insanely rare.
I'm not putting fuel on your fire, but I would say that, it's a pretty easy narrative to tell because the age-old trope with marijuana is that we all know the 911 call of the cop who ate the brownies he took from the lockup, and he thinks he's having a panic attack and thinks he's dying, and we all laughed at it.
Well, he's having a panic attack, but nothing's wrong with him.
No, because he ingested too much marijuana.
Yeah, he's just, panicking and having a panic attack, which all these symptoms of panic attack kind of go along with what these people are saying. Now, the prolonged effect of it, is that just their anxiety now and them thinking that this is in their body forever has changed their body chemistry? Because there's nothing that I've ever heard of And believe me, I'm telling you, pharmaceutical companies would have wanted to do as much research to try to debunk marijuana and not have it being able to, people to use it, because they'll make a lot more money. And so it's not good business to have marijuana as free as it is now. And they have never found any negative long-term effects of taking a 10 milligram edible. I mean, I'm pretty sure you couldn't find a scientist anywhere to say that, no, this could cause lifetime effects.
Basically, what they're saying is the more that they dug into some of these stories, it's kind of like, remember when, like, COVID, you have to be delicate when you talk about this, but, like, when COVID would kill people and those people were already not healthy. You know what I mean?
Or just they die in a car accident. Or
yeah,
well,
like there's that too. But what I mean is that, like, you had a person that, like, maybe had, like, emphysema and was severely overweight, and then they got COVID, and that was kind of like the last thing. They're kind of saying in this article, they're kind of like, well, a lot of these people were already preconditioned. They already had the pre-existing conditions of depression and anxiety. Of course, taking something that literally can, add on heaps of anxiety is going to make that.
Yeah. And what like this is not a study. This is not any science. This is people on a Reddit board
just sharing.
Yeah, and it's like, well, what do you have another underlying problem? You're just saying that now it's because of the edible. It's like, it could be 100 other things that are causing these things. Not the edible.
Doctors kind of put together, and scientists in this article kind of put together, like, what they say would be the perfect ratio for, let's just say, Joe Average, you, me, anyone that wants to dabble, and kind of like where to go. And they claim that if you can stay at 7.5 milligrams or under, that you should, like, in general, have no crazy effects.
Yeah. I mean,
so, like, you take a 5, you're fine.
It's hard to find 5s.
They don't make them anymore. I wanted them.
My mom.
I wanted the gels, the 5s, because I like them for sleep.
Those are they
only have
8s.
10s. Oh, they have 8s.
Yeah, the Certera
10s are too much.
Certera still has 8s.
Oddly enough,
you take 50. So you're
no,
10
I haven't
nothing.
taken those in forever.
Really?
No, I haven't taken edibles in forever. Yeah, I got off of those. I had to. I was blasting 1,000 milligrams a day.
Well,
I was blasting them.
Yeah.
I was doing 1,000. I would literally have to do a handstand and put a funnel in my rear end and have Andrea just pour RSO directly in.
It's funny. I thought this.
12.5 is as high as you should go if you just want to have a great time. That's what doctors say. Don't shoot me.
Well,
12.5 is all you need.
But also everybody's body chemistry and how they.
I know this
their
is just an average
levels.
Joe. I've never done it guideline.
Yeah, and usually like a 10. I would suggest people. My mom finds these mints that are 2 milligrams. And
I like that.
She prefers that because
less is more, man.
I have a funny story. So
are you gonna air something out you shouldn't talk about?
My mom likes THC, and so
God, I can never get my mom on it, and it would have really helped my mom.
Oh yeah, my mom loves it. And so I remember when they started making it medical, and she didn't get her like card yet or whatever. I had this gel. It came in a syringe. It looked like heroin, but it was just like pure THC.
It's like the RSO. It's
RSO.
Like,
yeah,
I have that. I have some of that.
But it's like a thick
blob. You have to hold it in your hand to heat it up, which, by the way, is like gross.
It has consistency of like a thick honey.
Yeah, and then you squeeze it out on a cracker, and you pop a cracker in, and it take you to the moon.
But it's strong, like, because it's pure concentrate.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in my closet. But this is back in the.
That's your drug room, right?
Yeah. This is a long time ago.
Goddamn drug room.
So I was like, hey mom, like, try this. And
you and your mom are both in your closet with a door shut. That's awesome, dude. That's
kids
awesome.
Are running around.
No, but that's cool.
And I'm like,
I wish my mom had put me in the closet, done drugs with me.
Yeah. My mom will do any drugs. She's cool as hell.
Would you let me, since
I do drugs with my mom? Yeah.
I have no parents. Can I smoke weed with your mom in the closet?
Oh yeah.
All right, I want to do that.
But she's a lightweight though, and that's why she likes the 2s. Anyway, so
okay.
I gave her this blob, and then I remember.
Why'd you do that?
I couldn't see this before I had glasses, and I was like, "Stick out your finger, mom." And then I gave her the blob, and I was like, "God damn it, is
rub
that a lot?"
on your gums.
Yeah. I'm like, put that in your mouth and rub it all in there.
All around your tongue. Okay, now jump up and down and activate. Eat this piece of cheese. The fat will activate it.
And she thought she was having a heart attack. Like,
you have to
5 hours
down?
later. No, my sister told me. Was
your sister mad at you for doing that?
Yeah. She
bet.
texted me in the middle of the night. She's like, "What the hell did you take your mom. She's pacing back and forth.
She's walking the feet off the dog.
The dogs are all concerned. The dogs are concerned. And she's like
laying in the kitchen with just a bra on.
She's freaking out. And then my mom, I traumatized her. She was like, I don't know. I'm like, this is too
you forced
crazy.
her to the twos.
Yeah, she was like high for 4 days. And something, our genetics must metabolize it weird too, because when you gave me that 50, that happened to me. Like I woke up in the middle of the night and I had to pace back and forth. I was like, I'm like, I know what's happening to me. I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
But I am having a level 5 panic.
I don't get that anymore.
Body numb. Like, you know, I'm like, can I feel my heart?
I like the feeling. I like to lay there and I feel a shadow man hovering over me, and there's nothing I can do. And he's like, I'm going to take your pants off. And I'm like, nothing I can do, Shadow Man. You got me. You got me this time, Shadow Man.
Like, do you have a sister?
Nope.
No, whatever.
Shadow Man.
Shadow Man. All shadows feel the
same. I'm Dan Aykroyd. Do you want to do some voicemails, emails?
Yes.
All right, let's do a couple voicemails and emails. It's funny because we don't get a lot of stories from friends that have like done the OD, because I think it's such a lot of people don't like to talk about it. You and I are very open about our marijuana freakouts, and a lot of people, that is not something.
Well, they're embarrassed.
They are. Don't be embarrassed of that.
Their wife called 911.
You know what? Have we ever asked for those? I don't think we ever have. It's a very embarrassing thing to ask for.
Oh, they're hiding it because
I need those emails. show@tomanddan.com. I want them all. I want when your mom did, when your grandma did, when your dad did. It's second only to your grandpa put on the damn the goggles and punch the TV. It's very cliche.
Yeah, but for sure you're like you're like, call the ambulance, I'm having a heart attack, and you took a
Tracy's
gummy.
Had to have one, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, don't say people's names.
She's keeping it. We don't know which Tracy. There's a lot of Tracy.
The problem with marijuana is that it affects your memory. So you take the edible, and then 10 minutes later, you're like, I need to take an edible, and you're like, wait a minute, did I just do this 10 minutes ago? And you're like, better safe than sorry. Number 2. Then you have a panic attack.
Oh, they changed and there's last thing about marijuana before we segue into some voicemails and emails. Did you have you bought the gels from True Leave anytime soon?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're in that container that looks like it's like a little cylinder.
Yeah.
And you have to gently push it. I've never seen a container like this. It's a Chinese finger trap. Can I say that?
Yeah.
If you push it hard, it's unopenable.
Yeah.
If you gently press it like you're literally making love to a woman, it will open up.
I can't, because I'm constantly trying to hide, and then I'm like trying not to make noise in my drug drawer. And then Chris is like, are you taking?
Are you in the closet with your mom doing RSO? Is Marilyn in there?
I gotta get my mom on the show to talk about that. She freaked out.
Yeah, I would love to freak out with your mom. We would have had some fun.
But she found these mints. One company makes 2 milligrams, but that's it.
I need that.
They all getting more than 10.
No. I don't need more than 10, dude. What are we doing? We're doing what craft beer did. You know, we're like, it's a triple IPA.
Yeah.
80%. Like, no.
People can't control themselves.
Sessionable. Yeah. Like my wife, he can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, he's wild.
Yeah. Some people, they're like 200 milligrams. I'm like, God damn, you don't need that much. You're blowing it out.
Real talk, I would do 50s. That's as far as I'd go.
That's
as far as I'd go.
You got to dose it small. But back to the original story, I thought this whole thing was going to be taking mega doses of THC and treating it like an experience like you do ayahuasca. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you can get so high that you start to like have a mushroom-like experience where you're like in your own head, going, your panic attack up, down, whatever, and then when you're done with that, you went through something. Yeah. In your mind and like your brain chemicals, you're freaked out, like, and that has to have some similar effect than like the hero dose of.
Anytime I've taken, let's just use the same term, not to make this all stoner talk, but anytime I've taken a hero's dose of marijuana. That scary part, as you're coming out of it, there's this wonderful, almost like euphoria feeling of coming out of it where you're like,
it's over.
I did it. I survived. And then you feel great and you're like, I'm alive.
yeah. That has to be on the spectrum of that.
Gotta be.
Okay.
All right, let's jump into emails and voicemails. Let's go with this one because I just think it's super funny. Here we go.
Dan, around 2 OG shows ago, Tom told a story where you two went to lunch with one of your obese friends, and Tom asked him in front of everyone why his armpits were gray. I know you like to dox people, so could you tell us who that was? Thank you. Bye.
Not going to say.
No.
I love that man.
I
love that man. But yes, Tom did ask one of our obese friends.
I was young, so I didn't honestly know.
You didn't understand obesity yet.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that was a possibility. You understand? There's lack of experience.
You were naive to the effects of severe weight gain.
Well, I didn't know.
Why did you ask it?
Because I was curious. I was
were you like?
Because he's a buddy of mine.
How did it come up? Were you just?
Because I was like, oh, why do you have gray armpits? Because I just saw it and I was like, why? Because I didn't know.
You didn't even give it a second.
No.
Is that the day
this
you
is my
learned?
friend.
Is that the day you learned to give it a second? Because you're normally very guarded with your. Normally you'll consider it a second.
Yeah, but
might have been the pirate beers. We were at Wing House when this happened.
But it's lack of life experience, and that's what I see. Oh, I got a story.
Yeah,
about
people. It's his arms. Like I don't know if people. I don't know if you guys know this, but the inner thigh, the arm, the Flappy Bird arm that everybody the tricep.
Yeah.
Your tricep will start to rub against your side boobie, and it will turn gray.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why. No one knows why.
But I know not to ask now.
Now you do.
Because I learned from that experience, But, you cut younger people some slack sometimes because they just don't. They haven't had the life experience.
How old? You weren't that young.
I was like 23. But
23-year-olds never seen goddamn gray armpits before. Call yourself a man? You've never seen gray armpits?
No, I had not noticed that caused. I still don't even know why it caused gray.
I see less of it now. I will say because they have a lot more
people
moisturizers.
Hide it.
No, people moisturize a lot more now. I think. And they hide it. They do hide it.
What is it like friction?
It's friction, yeah. It's a callus.
And then it's calluses.
It's a callus. You have a callus on your.
But why gray?
Because it's dyed. The skin is dyed, right?
Like a bright red, I'd get.
No. It does. At first, it is bright red because it's irritated. But the more you do it, the more the bright red dehydrates.
So yeah, I was like.
And all you're drinking is Code Red Mountain Dew, and it gets gray. All right. That was bad. Let's do this one right here.
So I got my identity stolen this weekend. So it was a credit card charge across town from some ATM I've never been to, whatever. So I called my bank and was going through all the process of getting that sorted out. And they have to go through your charges and ask you which ones are legit and which ones aren't. So she's like, CVS. I'm like, yeah, that one's good. She's like, a gas station here. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And she gets over and she goes, there's another charge for $10.95 for a two-man Dan.
2-man Dan.
And I had to just, in that moment, not address it and just say, yes, that's good. It's all good. But then I started thinking, like, what she must think that charge is all about. Anyway, if Tom ever kicks the bucket first, I think maybe you could change the name Dan. You get one more Dan, add a Dan, and it's still mediocre time with two-man Dan.
Two-man Dan, I love it. A mediocre time with two-man Dan.
That's funny.
That is, you get voicemail of the week, sir. Yeah. That is fantastic. Oh, my God. Two-man Dan.
Also, thanks for being $10.95. Did you get your thank you card?
Yeah.
Nobody got a lot back.
Yeah, you know what's the key to?
Tons back.
I've never seen. Okay.
It filled my desk.
I'm going to tell a story of something that really bothered me that you don't know about. But we sent out to our 1095 listeners, and God bless you. And if you'd like to be a 1095 listener, we appreciate you. It really helps the show.
Yeah, 1095 BDM membership at Tom and Dan.
Yeah, we have a love meter there. You can sign up. You get extra shows, extra parties. And some people choose because maybe they're a little more well-off, or maybe they love the product, or maybe they feel, like they got to do it, and goddamn, we love it. But they will subscribe for $10.95 a month. And we sent out a bunch of handwritten cards. I know you spent a lot of time writing a personal message to every single 1095er, and then we put like a little gift in there. It was a lottery ticket for you to scratch and hopefully win something, just something fun, just something nice. And we sent like hundreds of them away.
Yeah.
Okay. And and then we get a smattering of them back, and then we get more and more of them back. But we got one back, and we got it back 3 times. Because we kept sending it out. And that one bothers me the most. The fact that we've sent it 3 different times is the epitome of bad business, right? Like, that's real bad.
I understand the address. I put down the address, and the suite number's off. Suite B.
What happened to male people guessing?
Yeah, just put it in a slot.
Hey, let me give a shout-out to our mail guy here and to our UPS guy. A lot of our listeners are dumb, and they get the address wrong.
And we have a unit, unit A.
We do. It's Suite A. I say Suite. Unit sounds just bobo. Just say Suite. Follow me. And then but our guys know. They'll be like, oh yeah, that's Tom and Dan. And they'll make they won't just be like, I don't know the suite, leaving it here. Like what? Why are you doing that?
Return it.
You know who it goes to. You probably know.
Just put it in there.
All right.
We gotta go.
Oh crap. All right.
Bye bye.
All right. Sorry, buddy.
No, it's all right.
I was getting into it.
I'm going to call the weird job.
Yes, sir. Let me get my song ready. Where's that go?
That's Tuesday 4.
Tuesday 4. Yay. Just an intro and a split.
Two-man Dan is funny.
Oh, it's a great. That was the one I was laughing about when I got it this morning. I was laughing out loud. Two-man Dan.
Hello, Tim. Hey, how's it going? This is Tom from Tom and Dan.
We tried to get them to everybody, but we're figuring out the problem is in Stripe that some people's addresses are like slightly incomplete. And then when you pull all of it should be a relatively easy, you go in there for somebody that knows cells. I'm not that guy. Andrea's really good at like.
We'll try it this way. There is some road noise.
Stuff like that.
But it's not that bad.
I'm terrible at it. Oh, that's really cool. Grady, that's badass. I wonder if they're going to find the Melania statue that they sawed off at the ankles. Thought that was pretty funny, too.
Okay, cool. Perfect. I'll put you on hold, and then we'll do the interview right now. Hold on 1 second.
What line?
1.
Hey, man, can you hear us okay?
I can, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, man. Hold on 1 second. We'll do like a little intro, and then there'll be like a Weird Job Wednesday. We always play like a new version of the Weird Job Wednesday theme song, and then we'll pull you right up, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, man. Thanks again for doing this. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, of course.
All right. All right, T, would you like to start?
Sure.
Here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome to Corporate Tom with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. Come join us if throughout your day, if you're working in an office somewhere or if you're out and about and you want to watch a podcast, we are live from right around 10 until 3 p.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can search us on Twitch and YouTube at Tom and Dan Live.
The Orlando Science Center also has a brand new exhibit that just debuted this past weekend. And it's about superheroes.
Yeah, ma'am.
And so if you're looking for a great place to take your kids, get out of the heat,
yes.
Just chill out while the kids roam the Science Center, go to osc.org. Just become a member. That's the easiest way.
Yeah, you find out about stuff first. You save money on all the exhibits and the special stuff that they have.
Yep, and speaking of special, Science Night Live is May 31st, and you can get your tickets, and that's your opportunity as an adult to roam the Science Center at night.
Yep.
Have some drinks, some food.
It is cool to have a beer in the Science Center. I'll just say it. Just call it what it is.
And it's about DC Comics, that Science Night Live. So if you're into DC Comics, check it out at osc.org.
Old Detective Comics. All right.
So we got Weird Job.
Yeah, it's Weird
Job.
Yeah, I got a new song, and I know this particular person's occupation, at least I believe. You gave me a bit of a heads up. And I wrote, it's the original Weird Job Wednesday song, but it is done by a really sad old piano man. It's one of my favorite ones we've done. This one's weird. Real singer-songwriter old man.
Tom wanted to do a bit.
I like how slow it is. Oh, it's going to drive you
He
crazy.
called it Weird Job Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Dan really liked it. Tom said that's bullshit. Just another weird job Wednesday.
It's like my grandpa.
What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make
He goes for
lots
it.
of money? And you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people that are working by the hour. Weird Job Wednesday.
Oh, come back to me, Grandpa.
Just another weird job Wednesday. Oh, yes, it's
The chat room saying very
Weird
John Prine. Yeah,
Job Wednesday.
it is very John Prine.
Just another weird job Wednesday.
So pretty.
Thank you, Tom.
The thank you, Tom, really got me. You gotta wait for the thank you, Tom. It's really good, man.
All right, on the line with us, speaking of pianos, from the strollingpiano.com, we've got Tim on the line. How you doing, Tim?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
So, Tim, describe to us what the strolling piano is.
Well, we have created a upright piano facade type thing. Everything's built into it. Sound system, keyboard. There's a TV on the front for information or advertising, all that kind of stuff. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a strolling piano. It moves throughout the crowds, throughout an event. We have one that is out at Disney Springs. A lot of people here locally have probably seen us out there. We've been out there for almost 10 years now. And so, it's a strange thing, and it's harder to explain even now, 10 years later, than it was 10 years ago. But hopefully enough people have seen it, they got to understand what it is.
So think about like a upright piano that's on wheels that drives around your event as a piano player is playing, and speakers. It's got speakers on it,
Oh,
TV.
this is great.
And so now with a typical event, like even like when you're out at Disney Springs, so how far do you travel? Is it just in one small area? Do you go throughout the whole Disney Springs?
We've pretty much been all over Disney Springs at some point of our run there. It has changed over the years based on their need. That's kind of the beauty of what our product is that it can, you can just wake up one day and decide that you want us over here instead of over there, and it's no big deal. But currently we do cover a lot of ground. We kind of hang out as like the welcome committee at Disney Springs. So a lot of times you'll see us, and like if you're just coming down from like the Lime Garage, or the Orange Garage, or maybe the Bus Loops, those are kind of like the areas that we're focusing on. So we kind of just like go back and forth between all those places and welcome everybody, and all the information for the other entertainment throughout the Springs is on our screen in the front there, so everyone can kind of take inventory of what's going to go on later in the day.
It's cool, and I kind of feel like you're like, I don't know, that's kind of a big, like being the information kiosk, for lack of a better term, of all the other entertainment, to me makes you like top dog. Plus, you drive around. You're not just like some, the Lumberjack show, or like, this is cool, man. Have you ever raced two pianos against each other?
I mean, not like an official, like, sanctioned race, let's not say, but we have done like a dueling strolling pianos that actually did that at a couple of our pairs over the years have done, they're not necessarily racing, but we'll try to, coordinate their movements and kind of have it look like a little bit of a dance.
That's awesome.
While kind of playing together.
Oh, I love that.
So, Tim, you're actually the one that's playing the piano, correct?
No, I'm actually just one of the creators, inventors. My partner and I here locally in Orlando just came up with this idea and this concept kind of by mistake. About 10 years ago, we were taking all the guts out of an actual upright piano. We were turning it into a piano shell. And once we got into it, it just kind of like had this light bulb moment of like how much space was really in this thing and how we could be installing speakers, and just kind of one thing led to another and ended up creating this product. So I actually don't play piano at all. I'm just neither does my partner. We're both musicians. That's how we know each other. But we just created it and build them. Now we don't actually play piano ourselves.
Now the curious thing that I have is that like this is one of those ideas that like I'm on your website right now and people can like obviously Google it and check it out, and obviously go out to Disney Springs and check it out, I guess, when you guys are playing. But like is it one of those things where as soon as you made it, you knew you had a good idea, and were you concerned that immediately there are going to be other people that wanted to try and create something extremely similar and bite the idea?
Yeah, and we have that has been a concern, and we have experienced some of that. Not too much of it, fortunately, and really as upsetting as it can be, and as much bent out of shape as you can get about it. My partner and I really have both just tried to focus on just being a better product. Every time we see something like that, it's only happened a couple times, but we just really try to really focus our energy on what we can do to make what we have better, and make it just like a no-brainer for anyone where there's no competition. And it's been a good model for us so far. Those other copycats have kind of fizzled out. We haven't heard from them for a while, and it really hasn't affected what we're doing.
Well, Tim, I already just bought flyingpiano.com.
There's going to be a lot of problems, but we're going to do it.
It's a powered paraglider. You're a stand-up upright piano.
You can't hear a damn thing we're playing. It's so loud. Oh my God, it's loud.
And you have a paraglider, and they're swooping down to Disney Springs.
You've never lived. You've been swooped. I will swoop you to Adele's Hello. Hello.
I feel like anytime a piano is put into motion in any way, shape, or form on the internet, which is undefeated, someone finds a way to send it to me. So I feel like I've kind of seen it all, and maybe now that we're talking about that, there'll be some kind of AI-generated thing that'll happen.
Has anyone done a boat version called a Ciano?
No, but that is something we had talked about.
Really? Now that I say it, it's something you've talked about. Of course.
Well, no, we kind of thought about how easy it would just be to like throw it on a pontoon boat and just kind of secure it down and do some. Just you go on the lake or whatever. Because we pop into like our staff's neighborhoods and stuff like that for Christmas caroling and different things like that, just to have fun. You know what I mean?
Have you ever had an accident with the piano? Can you describe, is one person actually playing and one person driving? Is it a two-man setup?
That's the industry's secret.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, we don't. The whole process of what we do and how we do it has changed over the years too. We're probably on version 10.0, so kind of spare you the progression of all through it. But we do have we call it a handler. That'll kind of take care of the sound. I mean, that's another thing a lot of people don't realize is that basically an entire little mini PA system is built in to this thing, and it presents its own challenges just from an audio standpoint. If you have an audio background at all, that just cupping a microphone or having speakers in a really closed off area or really close to everything is really just a hard thing to control. So it's more of just like a handler, a person, stage manager, sound guy, kind of like jack of all trades hat wearing person.
Now, the piano players that you hire, are they specific? Are they kind of, because we know a lot of dueling piano guys, some of our listeners of ours. Yeah. Is it those guys, dueling piano guys that you hire, or do you have your own?
We've been so fortunate to have an incredible lineup, especially here locally, but we've also really grown it around the country as well. But my wife is our original strolling pianist, if you will. Cool. Just as my partner and I were developing and putting this all together, she was, quite literally the test subject, several times, and so we kind of grown from there with just word of mouth and people within our community. Since, like I said, we are all musicians. My partner and I just don't play piano, And yeah, now we have like the lineup that we have out there at Disney Springs is just one that I could not be more proud of. We do have some dueling piano guys there and women that have that in their background, but it's kind of like, you know, being on the strolling piano is a little bit of a hybrid of a dueling piano and a soloist kind of thing, because you're still, you know, the piano itself has its own personality. You're really close to people and interacting with them in a different way. So it's kind of like this hybrid thing that they've all really found their own way of figuring out.
How many pianos, if you can say, how many pianos do you have in the fleet? Do you have like a bunch, or do you have any new?
Yeah, so we currently are running 7 pianos.
Oh.
And one stays here, lives at Disney Springs, and you know, for our daily operations there. And then the rest of them pretty much go out over the summer for state and county fairs. It's a huge part of our business, so we kind of turn into carnies for a 3 or 4 month period, and it's fun, man. It's a good time. I've been out to a handful of them myself, and so yeah, that just becomes a numbers game of like how many we're willing to manufacture and put out there, and at what point it's profitable or not, you know.
How many different events do you guys do? Do you guys ever do like a private birthday party or like other like
yeah,
drive up and down my driveway?
we do it all the way down to that. Yeah, I mean, it really is. You know, we get hired by anybody. I mean, I'm literally driving home from Atlanta, Georgia right now. We did of all things, a robotics convention.
Cool.
At the World Congress Center over there. So it was just, you know, a big trade show with a bunch of people and showing off their new robotics stuff and everything. So and believe it or not, they were blown away by what we had there. And
that's cool.
We're having the darndest time trying to figure out like how we were doing it and what we were doing. So it was that was kind of a fun moment for us last night, actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you have future plans on making one that can go off-road or putting some tank treads on there? You know, you could do.
We've talked about like more, you know, like you got to consider too that there's a person on there who's, you know, singing and singing and playing an instrument. So you know, there's only so much of that they're probably really able to handle. So we, you know, right now we're good with mainly smooth surfaces. I mean, we can do some cobblestones and some things like that, but you know, we've been asked to do that for like rodeos or for different things, and there's also just so many factors of, you know, like get all the dust and all the things, electronics that you're
play some ragtime.
Drive over these rocks and play Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, you know what I also think would be cool, and it's very popular right now, and you may know what I'm talking about, but I know the kids will. You need to get Tom Van, my Tom, to do a la Benson Boone style flip off of the piano before he sings. You know, Benson Boone, he's always doing the flip before he sings.
That would be something.
That'd be amazing.
That reminds me, we were doing a trade show in Las Vegas some years back, and you know, just with a company that was there, kind of, you know, selling for some industry, and there was a contortionist that was there in the booth with us, and she had these little, like, you know, stands that she would, you know, do her handstand on and bend herself all which way, and she ended up hopping on the top of the piano and doing, like, you know, just holding herself up all over the place. And we just had, if I had a picture of the look on this kid's face, the guy that was playing the piano for us could have been like 19 or 20 years old, and he just like turned beet red. You know, you got this Vegas showgirl just like twisting herself up into every like shape she can right in front of him. You know.
Well, the problem is when they do that move, or they put their legs behind their head, or
it's
just
like, you're pushing it out. Hold on. It's like, stop pushing it out.
Pull that move out. You just pull that move out. But
you know what I say? I say put a paper towel in the front so I can't see what's happening. Put a brownie in there. Come on. What are we doing here? Good Lord. Put a liner on it.
Yeah, it's hard to sing piano, man. She's pushing it out right.
It's 5 o'clock and a whoa daddy.
He does wear a harmonica still, you know, like Billy Joel. So.
It's so hard for me to monica.
Well, Tim, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. And if anybody wants to rent a strolling piano at an event,
I kind of want to rent one.
You could just do it all at thestrollingpiano.com, right?
Yeah, it's all up there, and we're on, you know, Instagram and Facebook and all those things. The Strolling Piano, it also turns into the Strolling DJ. I got a lot of different applications and things that we do with it. So, yeah, you can just reach out to us directly, and we are here locally in Central Florida, but we send pianos and DJ units all around the country. So at any given time, there might be one around the corner. You don't even realize it.
That's awesome, man. Hey, congrats with the awesome business. It's really, really cool. We're glad you're local, and we appreciate the time.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
Tim.
Take care. That is Tim, the piano man.
So, Bus
I got to build one of these tonight.
Oh, yeah, we just
We gotta
steal
steal this idea. I'm like, he's talking about the mobile DJ or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, that's such a great idea.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you and I on 2 hoverboards or microphones, mobile podcast. Has he thought of that? Google that.
Yeah,
Melissa, Google mobile podcast boys.
Yeah,
or what are we going to call ourselves?
Dude, I could put a series of 4 one-wheels.
Yes.
And then I'll surf us into wherever.
And I'm running the controls in the back. I'll be on a platform, and producing us on the side will be the mobile podcast boys. Nobody's done this. Rent us for your party. We'll drive around and make fun of everybody at your party. Look at your big fat mom. Oh, gross. Look, her arms are gray. Are her arms gray because she's obese? Tom doesn't know why her arms are gray because he doesn't understand biology.
All right, here we go to the next place. The slope.
Real slow.
They're like, this is awkwardly slow.
It's real slow.
Your mom's
don't look at us while we're leaving. That's a rule I'll have. We're so slow. Our hoverboards are so slow. The rule is you got to turn your back as we're leaving. You put your cell phone in the pouch, like Dave Chappelle's show.
That is a good idea, though. Like, to have the ability to go around to different places.
But I can't understand how, not to play you in this argument, I can't understand how people aren't stealing it. Like, I can't understand how people aren't.
Maybe they patented the idea or whatever. But
how
really,
can you? How can you?
Maybe a piano on and whatever the way they power it, and like the speaker system could be in a certain. I don't know.
At first, I thought you were talking about,
but it really is just about creating the relationships with Disney Springs and all these other companies first, because as long as you got a good relationship, they're not going to hire.
And it's the most. And honestly, and I'm not saying this as a joke, it will be the smoothest, most upkept concrete you'll ever ride a piano on.
Disney Springs?
Yeah, I mean, they're the people. You know, if you can get in over there, you're going to have a nice environment to play.
So packed, it'd be hard to even move. You know what I'm saying?
I had a couple more questions for him, though, does the pianist have a weapon of some sort?
Why would he have a weapon?
I don't know. I would at least have an asp. there's one of those asps. Because they're Russians. They get up on you. They're close talkers. You get back. Whack them back as they're tipping your tip jar.
I like when you come up with an idea and turn it into a business, and then now you're hustling to grow the business, and then you get burnt out.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, God, I built myself
damn,
a
electric piano prison.
And then and
then you're driving your piano away from a party and don't look at us. And you hate yourself.
Yeah. And then all you're doing as the owner, you just schedule. You're just
we need a piano at the Potato Festival in Idaho. We need a piano at the Crawfish Festival in Louisiana.
And then all your entertainers, because they're all, they're
like, the guys that build this make more money than us.
Yeah.
They hate you.
Yeah, and all the piano players are addicts, and they're like,
they're all alcoholics. I almost made that joke and I didn't.
They're like, Bill didn't show up. You're like, God damn it.
Well, have Bubba play. Yeah, we can't.
And then so you have to constantly put out fires and scheduling.
Yeah, well,
problems.
most of it's fire from their crack pipes because they've been on the tugboat all night.
And then you're like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's
relying on other people is the part I can't get behind.
Yeah.
Like you and I riding a mobile podcast thing, that's fine. That'll work. But anybody else, we're sending it someplace else for somebody else to do it, ain't going to work.
Yeah, but then we're going out to the Strawberry Festival to do our mobile podcast, and then we're
here at the Strawberry Festival. It's Tom and Dan.
Yeah. They were constantly, everybody's like, what is this? We're trying to do a show.
We're trying to explain what it is. They're like, my cousin's got a podcast. What y'all talking about? My cousin's got a podcast. It's good.
Yeah.
He talks about bull riding.
Yeah, then one of our wheels gets stuck in the dirt, and then
we have to ask some big country boys to help get us out of there. I'm like, will you help us? Hey, this weak little M-word needs us to get his gay piano out of the mud.
Yeah. And then I'm ratcheting back under our trailer at the end of the night.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. And then we ride home in silence.
I'm like, where's the goddamn promoter? He's like, he hasn't paid us yet.
We ride home in silence. Yeah. Not paid. Not paid.
And then I'm like, the
but
promoter.
Then you see Zell come through, and it's only for half the amount.
Yeah, because they're like, I heard from my son, no one was looking at you. And my son's, he said he doesn't even like you anymore. God damn it.
That's really funny. Everyone's turned their back.
He listens to fantasy football podcast.
Oh, they're
now.
good. They're good. They'd never drive around a piano.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
That's silly. All right, buddy. Good job. He is great.
Yeah, it was good. It just the audio was poor, so I figured, you know.
Yeah, cut it short. Cut it short. That's ACT Wednesday. Where's that go? 1? Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I got to become less of a pussy, and I got a story that you're going to laugh at for Friday.
Well, you're not a pussy. Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll explain. So,
well, don't say it now.
Yeah. I'll tell you on Friday. You'll laugh your ass off. This is my version of you picking your poop up and.
I did. I wrapped it. We talked about me picking my poop up. Where I held it. I'm looking at it like I think I'm a doctor. What the fuck am I gonna see?
So you when I called him, he's like, I'm on my AirPods and I'm on my Bluetooth in my car, but then the van, we have to transport these things, so the van's kind of airy. You know, those white vans, they're not really sealed very good.
No, there's no
so you can hear the highway, right? And and I almost said, well, can you take your AirPods off, turn off Bluetooth, and just talk on the phone, even though he's driving on the highway?
Yeah.
Like, can you just talk on the phone?
Yeah.
Because that would sound better, right? But then I was like, he probably is doing this because he's like, it's dangerous to talk on the phone, talk on Bluetooth or whatever. So it'd be rude for me to ask.
I wouldn't have thought that, but it'd
be like, hey,
but I wouldn't have asked. I mean, I usually try to be. We are.
But I should have asked.
But we always try to be very accommodating. You know what I mean?
No,
almost to a fault. You know, like there have been things that are like, there have been like people that are like off the mic, and I'm just trying to get them on the mic, but I don't necessarily want to stop the show and be like, hey, can you please get on the mic? You're fucking up the show.
You know what's well, I guess you could say, yeah, just get it closer, just like or walk.
I don't even like doing that. Because sometimes
yeah.
I understand. Sometimes people are like, oh shit, I'm sorry. You know.
But then, I'm thinking like, oh, that's rude for you to ask me to like use my cell phone while driving on the highway.
It's dangerous, you motherfucker.
But I'm like, but is that dangerous? Like, do people not want to do it?
I don't think it's rude because
like I drive with my knees or whatever. I'm not even looking at the high
Andrea
road.
drives with her knees.
Yeah.
Guess who can't drive with his knees?
All right.
Waka waka. Are we eating?
Yeah. We're going.
All right. Eating ain't cheating.